All right, give me the about face.
About face. First squad, at ease.
Jonathan Jones Edwards is training to be a future leader at White Station High School.
You have to sign off with platoon, attention.
Leadership is definitely a big part of ROTC, and you learn about self-discipline and self-control. And also, when you're like in leadership or you're superior, the people have to follow, you show them, and you take charge, you command, and ROTC has a lot to do with that.
Attention!
And he has been able to apply his lessons outside the classroom as well.
He's kind of always been outspoken. He writes, his friends call him president.
Attention!
And this president got to travel to Washington, D.C. last summer.
The Capitol building, the Library of Congress, we took a lot of pictures there.
But checking out the sights of D.C. was not the only purpose of the trip. Jonathan was one of the 2 finalists from Shelby County in the 2008 Do the Right Thing Essay Challenge, and the trip was a result of that.
This is at the Kuwaiti Embassy.
Nationally, the contest is sponsored by the Kuwait America Foundation.
This one is very deep.
And locally by the Shelby County District Attorney General's Office.
Our role is to provide middle school students with an opportunity to communicate with us about violence in their lives, but more importantly, to get them to tell us what solutions they use or would use to solve it.
Keep our next generations and generations to come safe.
The contest is for 7th and 8th graders and requires them to write about youth violence and potential solutions.
I can help stop youth violence by participating in random acts of kindness.
Read those 2 and decide of those 2.
The thousands of entries from Shelby County are then judged by the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice at the University of Memphis.
All of us agreed on a 30.
And the 2 best from each school are honored at a banquet at Hope Presbyterian Church, where the regional finalists are announced.
And then they began to read his essay. The teachers that I sat with, they were clapping. I was shocked. Jonathan was sitting there with his mouth open.
Oh, I was like shocked, It was like my heart was beating fast and everything, so I was just like amazed.
It instilled things into the children too, to want to do better, want to do their best.
And they get to go on the trip to Washington that includes all of the regional finalists from across the nation.
Bob Corker, we got our picture taken with him, yeah.
And do things that are not in your travel guide.
They get to visit our U.S. representatives, our U.S. senators.
Met the Secretary of the Interior. I think that's who we met there.
And they also attended a reception in their honor at the Kuwaiti Embassy and had their essays placed in the Library of Congress.
This was a fun day.
But for both Jonathan and his mother, their favorite part of the trip was not something that was on the itinerary.
My favorite part was when we were actually at with the other children, and you got to talk with other people from different parts of the country, which I thought was really fun.
The thing that stood out to me most was the children. And the day we spent on Capitol Hill, we actually, at the Library of Congress, were in a room, and several of the children had been chosen to actually read their essay, and I felt like I've been living in a corner somewhere, because to listen to the children and how violence has personally affected them, it was just some of their stories I yet remember.
The 2009 regional finalists for Shelby County are Victoria George from White Station Middle School and Homer Varnsdale from Woodstock Middle.
Platoon!
But as Jonathan moves forward with his schooling, he will always remember what this contest represents to him.
I want to do the right thing, and now they say, as being a representative of that I should do the right thing and somewhat set an example for others that might see me somewhere, or my peers.
For the University of Memphis, I'm Simon Wright, senior, philosophy major.